Yo, we're going to be talking about Hisuian Goodra today. If you don't know, the Hisuian Pokemon are going to be coming in for Regulation D, which give us a lot of interesting options, right? This is Hisuian. And Hisuian Goodra has like a particular set that some people are using on regular Goodra, but there's like a lot of advantages this in how Hisuian Goodra can play this set better than regular Goodra, and that set being Body Press Acid Armor. Goodra used to occasionally try to run this set during some of the old VGC formats, but like there was always an inherent problem. One, you only have a base 70 defense, and two, your defensive typing is actually not that great for this metagame, and then three, this overall there's a lack of frankly utility. You could get crit, you could kind of get this beat up. But with Hisuian Goodra, you fix all the problems that originally that set has, where you can now just run, which you don't really want to run Shelter because less power points, but you still just run Acid Armor, Body Press, Protect, and then you have even Skill Stab, so you can deal with Mono like Flutter and have more like immediate presence, similar to how like Orform would play this role. But unlike Orform has this like massive vulnerability in the special defense stat, so it can't really play the body press role as efficiently. Which Hisuian Goodra can play the body press role so much more efficiently because of that high SPDF stat. And since you're boosting defense anyways, even though you're not gonna have as much like immediate pressure as a body press Orform would, or like a body press Bronzong, you're gonna have this more general longevity thanks to that SPDF once you start actually getting into the acid armor boost, as you don't have a way to get that SPDF higher, and then you'll find this easier ways to become unkillable. And of course, like comboing with shell armor kind of helps that in itself. But you can also run an ability like Sap Zipper, this to give you an immunity to Spore, which could be nice as well. So those are like two very big options. Of course, Hisuian Goodra isn't this limited to that though, because there's an old Goodra set as well that kind of works rather well with how Hisuian Goodra can play, and that's this Assault Fest. Thanks to the absurdly high 150 base BDF stat, Hisuian Goodra with like AV can just become simply this unkillable. And using moves like Feint, like a Heavy Slam, a Flash Cannon, you have coverage like Thunderbolt, you can run like Ice Beam, you have like Flamethrower. There's really just a million coverage moves you can run, like Muddy Water 2. Gives you like a lot of general utility with this set. You can even run like mix with Heavy Slam, because Heavy Slam, the big key about it is this helps you KO Flutter Mane a lot more efficiently. So even on like a mix set like this, you can just run a low speed because you're not going to be outspeeding most things anyways. So it's like something like this can kind of work out pretty well. And those are like the two kind of core Hisuian Goodra sets. This is simple little leftovers, Acid Armor, Body Press, Heavy Slam, Protect. You can also run tech moves like Life Dew. Goodra does have some funny supporting options to get helping out, actually surprising. But there's a lot of interesting support options in that regard, for sure, for sure. Yeah, like Life Dew is pretty good, let's say. And really the coverage moves you can do about anything with. And when it comes to like actual team building, I think there's like a couple approaches with it. Like with a body press set, I think something close to which Hisui, let's go do that. I think something like Hisui, Goodra, Cress, Rillaboom, and you can run them on like Lando, Therian, and then you have like a decent kind of defensive core. Maybe something like this. Or this set, you have like a way to set up Trick Room to get more offense. You have like recovery with Lunar Blessing to add to extra longevity. Rillaboom allows you to take EQ a little less hard, so that can be helpful too. Cresselia also can use a move like Ice Beam to just help chip away a Pokemon that would normally scare you in Landorus with this set. And also can use like its other offensive move to get rid of another threat in Urshifu that could be a little problematic. So this kind of like works out as a nice little balance core. As you can see, this is the Acid Armor set and Heavy Slam for Flutter. And then you can do Leftovers, Shell Armor, or Sap Zipper. Both are very valuable. And then you can do something like this, right? And you can just run Impish. You probably will go a bit higher in like the defense numbers with this, but in general, that's like a simple little idea you can do for it. And then you can have like the supportive ones like Landorus, get the leftovers recovery, plus like a Rillaboom and Grassy Surge, gets you even more recovery, boost your longevity, and this gives you a good chance of this taking over as a result. Ones like Urshifu Water are this really broken in general too, so they can help you out. Rillaboom with Fake Out can help set up the Trick Room. Like Hisuian Goodra kind of benefits from. And you kind of have like a lot of like little things that you can do with this kind of style that help enable this core to really function well. And you can also run alternative to like Urshifus, right? You can run this a dark type here, like Chi-Yu or something. And that will Chi-Yu Flutter Core as a backbone. No Urshi, but since you have like Rillaboom, you have a Monolith Shell Armor that resists most of the attacks. Cresselia kind of helps versus Ursh Water. And having Flutter Mane means you can deal with Ursh Water and Dark pretty successfully, though you have to be a bit worried about like Choice Scarf set. Which for that, on this kind of style, you could run like Booster Energy to kind of deal with that as well. Booster Energy Speed, now you're faster than the Choice Scarf Urshi, and then you can kind of beat them that way. There's a lot of flexible options here. Unfortunately, Rillaboom, of course, does not have Grassy Glide, so you can't just Prio kill in Ursh Water. But this is kind of a decent idea to how something could work. I do think Flutter Mane as well, just because of how scary Urshifu Water is. I think Terra Water Flutter is like something that's a little more valuable. But to speak of like, I think in general, the Terra you would probably want is something like Poison. You can go something like Flying too to make you immune to like Earthquake. Can even just go maybe let's simply go Water. Waters is always a good defensive typing, especially when you don't have a Water type. This to create a Suedo Fire Water Glass Core. That's kind of an idea I would have with like Body Press, Acid Armor, Goodra Hisui with this kind of comp. But another kind of option you can do, right? I think with the AV set, I think going something closer to like Tailwind offense would be generally pretty good. Like you can go Goodra, Torn, Chi-Yu, Flutter, Urshi, and then maybe like Rillaboom. I don't know. Rillaboom kind of works. And with this kind of concept, the key here is that Hisuian Goodra gets faint. And since it's like a naturally this very bulky mon, right? It can actually stay next to Chi-Yu, even with the Spadef drop it will take thanks to Beat of Ruins. And still be perfectly fine and still be like incredibly tanky thanks to the Salt Vest and this 150 base special defense stat. So Hisuian Goodra can still like function perfectly fine without really taking too hard the downside of having a Chi-Yu next to it. And then you can run like different coverage moves like Thunderbolt, this help Ursh Water. Because you notice here there's no like real way to hit on like Gyarados too. Getting a KO on like Bundle can help as like your Chi-Yu can just protect and you just have like Hisuian Goodra Thunderbolt it. So that's a bit of a viable option in that regard. And for the fourth move on this kind of comp, I don't really know what's like best for sure. You can of course just run like Dragon Pulse. I don't think I'll just put that for now, just because of honestly pure laziness. But moves like Ice Beam are pretty cool too, because like Ice Beam, and then you can just deal with like a Landorus with the Ice Beam as you protect your other Pokemon, which makes for a pretty hard thing to deal with. And for the EV spread again, you can just go pretty simple here. You don't need to do anything crazy. Since it's Tailwind, you can go a little more speed if you want to catch a specific Pokemon. I don't really know what to catch here, though, so I'll just add a little bit. And then let's go like full bulk. In general, having like defense EV is better than Spadef in terms of value, but having the Salt as well, you can get some extra value out of like the 1.5 times. But yeah, there's some other. Let's fill this out real quick. Maybe this like Rain Dance. You can do like this, Chi-Yu, Heat Wave, Dark Pulse. Maybe actually this. It's kind of a decent way to just fill this out. But yeah, you can see like the kind of ideal of this. You have like Feint, and Feint allows you to like force your burst option with Chi-Yu Allows you to force a burst option with Flutter Mane once you get the Tailwind out. And kind of this like get through what normally people would use to stall out Tailwind. And to that point as well, instead of like Urshifu, since you already have Hisuian Goodra to break the protects, right? You can actually run a mono like Basque Legion, and you can get some like huge value off of like adaptability, last respects. You go like water, Aqua Jet, Wave Crash, and like protect. That's like pretty good in general too. I guess I'll put a Mystic Water on this. Like, since you have the Feint from the Goodra, then the Basque Legion can just Wave Crash into it and give you like decent results. Then you have like mons like Rillaboom here, Fake Out, Wood Hammer. I don't know, turn protect. And maybe Miracle Seed, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of the general concept, is you can just have a lot of pure value. Feint kind of covers the fact that the weakness of like Basque Legion compared to Urshifu. Because Basque Legion actually does more damage on base compared to an Urshifu, right? Because you have that adaptability boost. But the problem with Basque Legion is because of how Urshifu works, since you hit 2 times and you can't protect around it, there's a different level of consistency that you can get with an Urshifu than you can with a Basque Legion. And using Basque Legion with like a mon with Feint gets around that kind of negativeness, because like in Tailwind, you essentially, your opponent wants to protect around your Tailwind. So once the protect is inclined, the value of Feint goes up. And then having him on like Basque Legion instead of Urshifu, normally that would mean that you would kind of lack this kind of substance in your Tailwind, as you won't be really forcing it their hand, as they can just double protect on you, right? And you won't be able to really punish it, so you won't get as much effective damage as you would with like an Urshifu. But thanks to having Hisuian Goodra here instead of with the Basque Legion, you actually are getting that effective damage output. And that kind of correlates with your other Pokemon like Chiyu, it correlates with your Flutter Mane, correlates with your Rillaboom too, because honestly, Rillaboom hurts really, really badly. And yeah, that's like the 2 concepts I want to go over with these sets. I think AV best fits with like this Tailwind kind of hyper offense style. And then like Iron Defense, well, Acid Armor Body Press or Shelter Body Press best fits with this kind of defensive Crest, Rilla, Lando kind of more balanced base comps, where you just have the ability to slow play and then eventually get into your Goodra clicking, getting your boost and getting your body presses going. And that's really the best way, I think, to utilize Goodra as a Pokemon. Those are like 2 kind of like essential ways I think about playing Goodra coming into this next format. And yeah, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think of like Goodra in general and what other Pokemon you want me to cover. I'll try to be covering a lot of these Pokemon at the beginning of like Regulation D. And yeah, that's it. Later.